Welcome back to another Fallout 76 video on the channel, and thanks for taking the time to check out this video. Today we're going to be checking out a weapon that was added with the Atlantic City America's Playground update. That's right, we're going to be checking out the Cremator. Now I will have timestamps in the description of this video so that you can skip ahead to the parts that apply to you, as we will need to go into a bit of detail with the mods for this weapon, so just keep that in mind. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Now before we check out the mods, the build, and completely obliterate a ton of enemies in the wasteland by melting their faces off, let's quickly take a look at how you can obtain it for yourself. If you're like me and we're kind of late to the party, you can simply obtain the weapon and all of the mods available for it by heading to the crater and purchasing it with gold bullion from Mortimer. Now keep in mind, if you're fairly new to the game, you will need to complete the Wastelander storyline in order to unlock the gold bullion currency, and don't quote me on this, but I assume you'll need to have max reputation with the raiders before the plan actually becomes available. But if you don't necessarily need to, let me know below in the comments. So with the easy part out of the way, let's check out the mods. With the mods, there are several that you can acquire and modify the weapon with, and with this weapon in particular, there are somewhat polarized opinions on which are the best mods to equip, and to be honest, after quite a lot of testing, I feel it really comes down to your playstyle and personal preference. Normally, for these weapon review videos, I normally stick to one set of mods that I personally feel are the best, so that you can maximize the amount of damage output that the weapon provides. However, there's two mods in particular that we'll discuss very shortly that provide quite a lot of damage for the weapon. However, let's take a look at some of the other mods that we're actually going to equip. Today we'll be going with the heavy barrel mods that you gain the most amount of damage compared to the double shot barrel, the multi-shot barrel, and also the standard barrel, because as you can see, the damage does drop off by quite a lot while actually using the other barrels. But we're also going to be reviewing the multi-shot barrel alongside another mod that we'll discuss in a bit. We also have the huge propellant tank for plus 100% ammo capacity, however your reload speed will be reduced by minus 20% and your aim speed by minus 6%. As you can see, the other tank mods will decrease your ammo capacity by quite a bit, but at the same time they do have their own benefits, but overall I personally feel that the huge propellant tank is definitely the best to go with. When it comes to the fuel mod, you don't have to worry with which one you actually go with, as these mods are just purely cosmetic and will just alter the colour of the fireball effect that the Cremator produces. But we'll be going with the generic fuel red mod for this version of the Cremator, and then we'll be going with the copper sulfate green mod for the alternative version of the Cremator that we'll be testing. Which then brings us on to our next topic, the difference between using the napalm tank and also the slow burning tank. Now, before you go rushing to the comments and say, nope, the slow burning mod is the best, or nope, the napalm tank is the best, this is where I'm circling back to say this purely comes down to your own personal preference. After a lot of testing, I found that both of these mods work extremely well with this particular weapon, as with the napalm tank, you'll be dealing roughly 800 to 850 base damage, and with an additional 1,168 additional flame damage over 6 seconds. And for that instant one-shot takedown, the napalm tank is definitely the way to go. But with the slow burning tank mod, you'll be dealing roughly 724 to 750 base damage. However, you'll then deal an additional 4,323 flame damage over 12 seconds. So as you can see, there are a few pros and cons to this, because with the slow burning mod, and as the name suggests, you'll be dealing that additional 4,000 damage but over 12 seconds, compared to the 1,168 flame damage over 6 seconds. You'll also lose roughly 100 base damage with the slow burning mod attached, but after quite a lot of testing, I found that if you go down the slow burning mod route, you just need to be a little patient and just be prepared that your enemies won't instantly drop to the floor. But believe me when I say this, the slow burning mod is definitely one that you need to try out. And for the purpose of today's video, we'll be using both of these mods, but we'll be using different fuel colors to differentiate between the two. So we'll be using the red fuel for the napalm tank and then the green fuel for the slow burning tank, so make sure to keep an eye out for that, and then you can then decide on how you feel after you've seen it being used. And finally, the legendary effects that we have with the Cremator is the bloodied effect, so damage increases up to 95% as health decreases, plus 50% limb damage, and then plus 15 bonus VATS critical charge. Now, I do have another Cremator with the exact same rolls, however the only difference is that that has 90% reduced weight, but for the purpose of today's video we're going with the former. Now, onto the build and the perk cards. With the build, we're going to be going with a low health non-power armor heavy gunner build that's designed specifically for the Cremator. And just before we get into it, and if you're curious, no, the science perk cards will not work with this particular weapon as it doesn't fall into the energy weapon category. However, you will be utilizing the batteries included perk card to reduce energy weapon ammo weight by 90%. So on paper, it is a bit of a contradiction, but hey, look, I don't make up the rules. Now, I know there will probably be comments like, I'm tired of low health builds, I hate bloody builds. Look, it's just how it is. Low health builds work extremely well for the most amount of damage output. As with low health builds, it's high risk, high reward. So if you're tired of seeing low health builds running around the wasteland, make your way over to the Bethesda Discord and leave your feedback there. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the perks. With the perks, we're going to be utilizing max rank of all of the heavy gunner perk cards, so that heavy guns now deal an additional 60% damage. Rank 1 of bear arms, so that heavy weapons are reduced by 30%, and also rank 2 of blocker, so you take 30% less damage from your opponent's melee attacks. We also have rank 1 of concentrated fire, so that VATs now target limbs, and seeing as we have that plus 50% limb damage effect, you can probably see that we'll be utilizing VATs a lot with this build. We also have max rank of grenadier, so that your explosives detonate with twice the radius, and yes, this will work with the Cremator, as it will increase the explosive fireball effect with this weapon. As this is a non-power armor build, we're also going to be going with max rank of life giver, so that you gain plus 45 to your maximum health. Chem resistance, so that you gain complete immunity to chem addictions, as we'll be utilizing chems such as psycho buff and other chems to help boost that damage even further. Max rank of fireproof, so that you take 45% less damage from explosions and flame attacks. Definitely a great one to utilize to prevent yourself from getting damage from your own Cremator fireballs, and also very beneficial against Scorch Beast Screech attacks. We also have max rank of Radical, so that with the greater your rads, the greater your strength, which means the more that you can carry. Max rank of suppressor, so you can reduce your target's damage output by 30% for 2 seconds after you attack. Max rank of tenderizer, so you make your target receive 10% more damage for 10 seconds after you attack. And we've also stuck in max rank of friendly fire, so you can heal your teammates with your flame weapons. Not essential, but a nice perk card to have if you actually need it. So if you want to swap that out, fire away, as it's not essential to the build for damage output. We also have max rank of strange in numbers, that your mutation effects are 25% stronger if teammates are mutated too, and more than likely your teammates will be mutated, as 90% of the player base run with at least 1 to 2 mutations on them. And if you're going to be going with the low health route, you'll definitely need the adrenal reaction mutation. As it's a low health build, we have max rank of nerd rage, that while below 20% health, you'll gain 40 damage resistance, 20% increased damage, and 15% extra AP regen. We also have first aid in there, so that stimpaks will restore 45% more lost health, and rank 1 of gunsmith, so that weapons break 10% slower. Again, as I mentioned, we're utilizing max rank of batteries included, so that energy weapon ammo is reduced by 90%, and if you're going to be running with mainly the Cremator, you'll need a lot of fuel ammo. We also have max rank of gunfu, so while using VATs, you'll gain 10%, then 30%, and then finally 60% extra damage while swapping between targets. Max rank of adrenaline, so that you gain plus 60% extra damage for 30 seconds per kill. Max rank of dodgy, so that you avoid 30% of incoming damage at the cost of 30 action points per hit. And to negate the loss of action points, we have max rank of action boy, so that action points regenerate 45% faster. Again, with this build, we'll be utilizing VATs, so it's definitely beneficial to have these particular agility cards in your build. We then have max rank of bloody mess for 15% bonus damage to enemies. Rank 2 of Grim Reaper sprint, so that any kill in VATs has a 25% chance to restore all action points. One gun army, so that heavy guns gain a 12% stagger chance and a 12% chance to cripple a limb. Rank 1 of serendipity, so that while below 30% health, you'll gain a 15% chance to avoid damage. Max rank of class freak, so that the negative effects of your mutations are reduced by 75%. Rank 1 of curator, so that the benefits of bobbleheads and magazines last twice as long, as we will be utilizing the big guns bobblehead to increase heavy weapon damage by plus 20, and with the curator perk card, this will make big guns bobblehead last for 2 hours. You can also utilize the likes of Tesla Science 5, so that you gain minus 20% heavy weapon ammo consumption, and also Unstoppables 3, so that you gain plus 30% chance to avoid damage from explosions. And finally, we have max rank of starch genes, so that you will never mutate from rads, and rad away will never cure your mutations. Now, on to the legendary perks. With the legendary perks, we've gone with max rank of legendary luck, strength, agility, intelligence, and charisma, so you gain plus 5 special points to each of these categories, and also max rank of taking one for the team, so that if enemies attack you, you'll gain an additional 40% more damage when you're on a team. Now, you can swap this card out for whatever you'd like to, as it's not mandatory, so feel free to swap this out for whatever suits your needs. And with all of the legendary perks equipped, this is what your special stats will look like, so if you'd like to pause the video here so you can get an overview, you can go ahead and do so. Moving on to the armor, we'll be utilizing a full set of unyielding Secret Service armor, because with the unyielding effect, you'll gain plus 3 to all of your special stats except endurance, while at low health. I'll also leave a list of the effects on each piece in the description below, but in order to obtain the Secret Service armor, you'll need to have completed the Wastelander storyline and purchase the plans from either Regs at Vault 79, or you can sometimes pick it up from Minerva, the traveling vendor, at a cheaper price. And finally, with the mutations that we'll be running, I'll leave a full list to the mutations that I'm currently running in a pinned comment below, along with a link to my mutations guide, which will show you how and where to find each mutation, along with their attributes and also their effects. So, now that we've covered everything from the build, the weapon and its mods, let's go and test this weapon out and all the enemies that Appalachia has to offer. have it, the Cremator. Hopefully today's video helped you utilize the Cremator a little bit better in the wasteland, and hopefully it won't take you too long to obtain one and roll one with the legendary effects that you're looking for. But at the same time too, if you did enjoy today's video and found that it did help you out, consider giving the video a like, and consider clicking that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any videos that I publish. I'd also like to say a massive thank you to all of our channel members and subscribers here on the channel. Your support means the world to me, and I can't thank you enough for helping us to get to where we are today. And as a thank you, you can use my creator code BTCremator76 until July 24th to receive 20% off of your entire purchase over on the Bethesda Gear store. And to you, the viewer, the person who stumbled upon this video, thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, Vault Dwellers, stay safe out there in the wasteland. Welcome to Vault 93, and I'll catch you all in the next video.